Today we're going to be taking apart a rather large aquarium. This aquarium is 4 feet by 2 feet by 3 feet high. This is an old aquarium that I used to have, and we're taking it apart so we can use it to build a bigger aquarium. So stick around and you'll see some of the tips and tricks I used on taking this one apart. I'm Murphy, and welcome to my world.
I said the Joker is a wanted man. He makes a way all across the land. I see him slip down through the sand. So I'll tell you all the story about the Joker and the demon.
So here we have the massive 160-gallon tank that we're going to be taking apart. First, we're going to start with the trim on the bottom. We're going to put the putty knife in and just work it back and forth and just try to separate the silicone that's holding the glass and the trim together. Now it takes a lot. You got to go back and forth a few times and you'll see it to start freeing up a little bit. It is important to use safety gloves and stuff like that too, because the glass is super sharp on this. Now we're going to try to start separating the silicone that's holding the bottom panel to the side panels. And we're going to do that by, again, just working it back and forth and just creating that gap. Once we've created that gap, we're just going to keep working it back and forth with the blade as well, just so we can make sure that there's no silicone still holding those panels together. Now, here I used the putty knife to kind of wedge it in so I could get the blade in to kind of pull it across. You can even try a wooden wedge as well, as you see we're using here, to kind of create a gap in between that glass so we can get the blade in between. Now, once we got the pieces separated, we would just wiggle it back and forth to try and separate the silicone, and it eventually came apart. Now it's time to flip it over and start on the top plastic piece that was holding it together. And we do the same thing, just running a blade on the inside and the outside of the plastic piece, just separating that silicone anywhere it might be holding onto the glass. Some of it did come off in pieces. It was older and a little bit more brittle. Now, while we're pushing on this too, you can see us kind of holding it as well. That's because with no bottom piece now, it does want to kind of wiggle and shift, and we don't want the panels coming apart before we're ready for them. So it is important to kind of brace it as you're doing this as well. Once we got the top piece off, we flipped it back over and started on the panels. So the silicone holding the panels in between the panels of glass and on the inside of the tank both had to be removed. So we would remove the inside, which was pretty easy, and then to remove the silicone that was holding the panels together in between the two panels, we would shift it to the left, cut it once it gave us a little bit of a gap, and then shift it to the right once it gave us a gap on that side. And basically we just repeated this process over and over until the panels started coming apart. We then removed the panels one at a time. And then once the panels were removed, we scraped off some of the excess silicone that was still left on the panel. And there you have it. We got all the panels apart without breaking any glass, and everything went pretty smooth. All right, so that's pretty much the end of the video. Successfully, we got all the window panels apart. And now we're just going to bring them back to my place so I can store them until we're ready to start our build. Thanks for watching. And don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, and notification button. Thanks.